Well, hello. Welcome to EmpowerMe Vision Live Session. So you know me, I'm Ryan Napierski, President and CEO of Nu Skin Enterprises, and I am here to talk about EmpowerMe. So to set up EmpowerMe, I want to start with this idea of disruption. And I talk a lot about disruption. I know all of us, in a way, are sort of disruptors internally. We have this desire to change things, right? We're modern day explorers, but we just do it in a different way. If you look at every one of the world's largest companies, each and every one of them are disruptors. Each and every one of these. I don't care if it's Amazon, and I always like to say Amazon, when they were first formed in 1994, what was the registration mark that they registered? Do you know? Amazon. Bezos named it Amazon. Why in the world, if they're selling books, why would they have named Amazon Amazon?
Big vision.
Huge vision. Huge vision. It was all about becoming the world's ecosystem, and they called themselves Amazon. If you go back to Apple and you think about Apple, who had one of those original Macintosh computers? That's actually where I learned about computing. I don't know anything about computing, Joe, don't get an idea. But those Macs, that is not Apple today. When you think of Apple today, Apple is an ecosystem. When we think about all of these other companies, Microsoft, if you think about Tesla, if you think about Google, if you think about Alibaba, all of these companies are amazing disruptors because they create categories. They are category creators. Now there's one company up here and you wouldn't recognize, NVIDIA. Do you know NVIDIA? Anyone knows NVIDIA? Yeah, Dan knows NVIDIA because he trades stock. This is the largest company you've likely never heard of. NVIDIA is an amazing disruptor. Back in 1997, an entrepreneur named Wang was educated at Stanford. He comes over from Taiwan. He forms a new way of computing. Instead of linear processing, he had a multi-dimension processing model. 1997. They went out and bought an $8 billion company, and their market cap was $4 billion after buying it. That tells you the value that the world put on NVIDIA as a company. Well, fast forward to 2015, 2016, and 2017, what started happening of the laws of compute started to change. And compute was no longer a linear process. It was a multi-directional process of computing and solving problems. And NVIDIA's value just started to shoot up. When you think of what happened in movies, the animation processes, movies like Avatar started to come out. Those were the processors, NVIDIA processors, $280,000 chips that enabled this computing. Today, this company is worth somewhere between $600 and $700 billion. They were a massive category disruptor. So this is going to become very important in our story as we think to the future. The other thing to keep in mind is global GDP growth. You can see in this chart how crazy it is when you look out, and these are in trillions of dollars, when you look out to see that by 1950, less than $10 trillion global economy. And then the technology revolution started. Today, it's over $120 trillion, primarily fueled by the disruptive power of technology. So we look at our business today, and we look at the big disruptive trends that are hitting our industry today. As a beauty and wellness company, what matters to us? Well, there's a few that are really, really important, right? First is personalization. There's a great digital report that came out from Deloitte Digital saying that over the course of time, between $5 and $12 trillion will happen in digital disruption around IoT connections. Social commerce is another major disruptor. We talk about this all the time. This is how consumers engage and shop, right? When we think about that aspect of all of this, that is another huge disruption. People are moving away. In fact, I go all the way back to when pre-internet era, which was my era coming out of university, and everyone shopped in retail stores, right? That was the only way you got goods until 1994, until Amazon started and people started to shop online. That internet revolution changed everything, right? Today, every single company in the world, if you're a consumer-facing company, has your own website. So you look at social commerce, and they're estimating $3.4 trillion shift. These are trillions. This is roughly the size of Japan's gross domestic product, or Germany. I mean, we're talking about massive disruptions in the next few years. Social commerce is the wave of the shopping future. And then the last one is the gig economy. Now, I started talking about the gig economy about 4 years ago. And there was a stat that we used out there that said, and I think it was Grandview Research, you'll have to source it at the bottom, we've done our job. But it said that the gig economy globally is approximately $466 billion. And that's the stat I've been using. So I'm doing research all this past week, and that same source has shifted, and they're now reporting $873 billion in the gig economy. From 466, three or so years ago, to 873 billion now. So what shifted? If you go into it, what shifted is the last 2 to 3 years. What shifted is the COVID and post-COVID implications of how people work, the desires of millennial and Gen Zs to not have traditional careers, and a hyperinflationary environment that has caused people to now need and want multiple sources of income, not just a traditional job. This gig economy is an enormous disruptor. And the question is, how much more will it disrupt? So you've got personalization at $16 trillion. You've got social commerce at $3.4 trillion, all estimated by 2028. And then you've got this estimate here on the gig economy at $873 billion. And I would imagine it's probably going to go to over $1 trillion another year or two from now, because the way people are living is shifting. So move forward. What's the next one? In business, we're always looking for the next shift, right? That's natural. The next big shift, how many of you have heard of ChatGPT? Right? It's blowing up the media, the news everywhere. This company, this open AI idea, this open architecture idea, and this company that Microsoft recently invested in back in January is taking over. It's literally rewriting the web. This is part of the challenge, right? But AI and this AI economy is now accelerating our pace into a new technology revolution. A McKinsey report I read over the weekend says that there will be $13 trillion in incremental economic value stamped on top of that $120 trillion between now and 2030. Again, I would imagine this is going to continue to accelerate at a much faster pace. And what they're saying is that two things are going to happen. Number one, from a disruption standpoint, the way people work and the jobs that people do are going to change. They're going to change to value-creating work and value-creating jobs. And number two, that countries, and this is almost quote, countries, companies, and individuals who do not embrace AI will be vastly left behind at an accelerating pace. Not accelerate, at an accelerating pace. The point is, technology is moving fast. We as a company are moving at pace of that. Where's the challenge? Where's the breakdown? Humans always take longer to adopt than technology does. Internally, our management team, externally, our leaders, we have to be progressive. If we're dragging our feet, we're going to lose. The best disruptors are the ones that hit the greatest number of people. 8 billion people on our planet, and there's only one thing that's consistent amongst all 8 billion people besides our heartbeat and our brains. We all want to look, feel, and live better. Companies, every company on the planet wants to help people look, feel, and live better. Is that right? Yes. Fast forward, New Skin Enterprise is our mission statement. To be a global force for good by empowering people to look, feel, and live better through our products, our opportunity, and our culture. This has been the foundation of our company. For 39 years, this company with this mission of being a global force for good by empowering people to improve lives has put every dollar of resources behind this mission. We have built a very solid foundation. Publicly traded, publicly listed, very low debt. By the way, in a world today where debt is a noose around the neck you don't want, having very low debt, very strong balance sheet is critical as a company. Having invested for year after year in high science, all of the good, none of the bad, technology and digital first, we've positioned ourselves in that adoption curve to be right at the beginning. Now again, the question is, Who's coming? And if we can't get the biological side, the human side connected, it's all for naught. It's investment that will go wasted. But as we harness the power of the human side, the biological side, our network, our capability, our leadership, our teams, our global sales force, our global leaders that know how to move people, putting that together with the digital, the technology, the products, the opportunity, that's how this will accelerate moving forward. So the way I look at this is we're the world's largest and longest running startup ever, right? We're 40 years in our startup phase. We're Series A right now. And I'm serious when I look, and the reason I highlighted NVIDIA is this is exactly it. For 2 decades, their market cap, their value to the public was minuscule. Until it was time. It's like a bamboo shoot, right? It causes, 20 years to grow, and then all of a sudden it shoots up 20 yards in one season. That's what happens if you build a solid foundation. So let's talk about the foundation. As part of that, we went into this New Vision 2025. We came out with this 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at Investor Day. We announced out to the world that we are going to take all of these amazing, great foundational components. Strong, solid company, a strong word of mouth, networked, organizational structure in 50 countries around the world, and we were going to take all of that and we were going to rebuild and reconstruct it into the world's leading integrated beauty and wellness company that's powered by this dynamic affiliate opportunity platform. In that strategy, we talked about 3 distinct things that made New Vision 2025 work. Number 1, EmpowerMe. Number 2, social commerce. Number 3, through a digital ecosystem. So let me hit each of those real quick. First, the beauty and wellness platform with EmpowerMe. The power of personalization lies in the data that we can aggregate through the consumers of our products and our devices and our digital products. The power of data and the power of what we call I/O, input, output, is a game changer. If you're selling lotions without devices, how do you gather data on a customer? With IoT devices, beauty devices, wellness devices, we now have an ability to aggregate massive amounts of data that will enable consumers to personalize. And that data will also inform how we develop products as well. So that data is helpful to the consumer and it's helpful to the company to meet the consumer's needs. Does that make sense? So beyond that, we talk about a roadmap. What is it, this EmpowerMe roadmap? This started years and years ago. More than 20 years ago, we started to collect data through various devices, through e-commerce platforms. We gathered data. We've recently introduced IoT connected with LumaSpa IO. We've introduced 2 new apps, Vera and Stella. All of these enable us to generate or aggregate significantly more data. We will be adding to that additional sources of data. We will be looking at assessments. We will add personalization. And eventually, where we aspire to go is to what we call the digital twin. I'll briefly mention it in just a second, but it's a very important evolution where we're taking this data aggregation. I mentioned to you that data, it's not just about devices, it informs product design and product development. Steve, having done 30 plus years in manufacturing, is a baby, a brand new baby in the space of IoT. And what he's now doing with product, and Joe Chang and our whole global product team to develop the right products for the right customers is significantly enhanced when you have that data. So all of these amazing social products that are coming out are informed through EmpowerMe. They're informed through the aggregation of data and the understanding of that data to meet consumers' needs. So when people think EmpowerMe doesn't apply to me, wrong. If you buy products at Nu Skin, you're already part of the EmpowerMe ecosystem and you're contributing value and value creation through digital and the access of data through the digital capability as well as the access through data of all other sorts. So next, again, EmpowerMe, number 2 in New Vision 2025, social commerce. Social commerce, as we all know, and we've talked so much about, is leveraging the scale and reach of social media to do what we've always done. But instead of doing it one-to-one, person by person, word of mouth, we're able to do that one-to-many through scale, through social media, through platforms. over half the world's population is connected via 5 social media platforms. There has never been a time in the history of humanity where human beings, well, except the time there was only 5 of us on the planet, but that we were all connected in 5 single sources of access. That's amazing. When you think about Nu Skin being able to build $2 billion through word of mouth 1-to-1, and you replace that with 1-to-many, that's exponential. So leveraging and building that capability of social commerce is where we aspire to take this. So that's as we talk about social commerce. Now I put this together because a lot of times we look at this and people who are selling products on social media are saying, well, that's the business Nu Skin is. And then we have others that are saying, well, no, Nu Skin is this opportunity platform. The beauty of EmpowerMe is whether you're sharing products, you're building teams, or you're leading organizations, you are contributing to and you're benefiting from the EmpowerMe ecosystem. Every consumer, every affiliate, every leader on the platform is building the platform. You are co-creating the platform and how we do business. The third pillar of our New Vision 2025 is the digital ecosystem. And this one's really critical, and you all know that last year we launched Vera and Stella. Now these apps, and I've said this publicly, so you guys can hold me to this, within 2 to 3 years, these apps will be as critical to our business as Uber's driver and rider apps are to theirs. And I mean that, period, full stop. Our business will transact through your pocket to pocket. That's how the business will be conducted. These apps, they're in MVP form, minimum viable product. They're brand new. They're a year out. They're being refined. Not even a year out in many of our markets. But they will be the future of the business because there's so many advantages built into these apps. The data interface between the consumer app, Vera, and our Stella app, the information an affiliate can get on a consumer, anonymized, privacy protected, will enable that affiliate to meet the consumer's needs better. The consumer having access to her own preferences and profiles through personal product recommendation tools that are embedded in the apps today, selfie timelines, personal offer, there's all kinds of tools, will be better informed on her or his personal beauty or wellness journey. These apps are critical to our business, and we're investing in them huge. We are already at Nu Skin investing in prototypes around a digital core, leveraging the power of AI and ML into our product offering, our digital apps already. And this is real time happening as we speak. All of that brain, that digital core, is eventually leading into what we call the digital twin. The digital twin is a personification, your own individual personification in the beauty and wellness space of how your biological footprint will work. So if you think of digital twins, they're used in, I was talking with Craig Bryson about this, but they're used in airlines, right? When you build a plane, before you fly the plane, before you construct the plane, you build a digital twin of the plane, right? It's very common in engineering to do this, especially with 3D printing now. In beauty and wellness, nobody has done that yet. We aspire to be the first to do that. That's our goal. What I wanted you to take out of my section, just to summarize this moving out, is that EmpowerMe is all about empowering our affiliates. It's about empowering our consumers. It's about empowering our leaders to build their businesses their way. EmpowerMe, social commerce, and our digital ecosystem is the how we do it, but we're already moving down that path. It's already underway. It's already happening. The last thing I want to say, because it would be a total miss if we don't talk about this, is about the purpose of this company, about our empowerment mission to be a force for good. And I always love Blake's quote when he talks about force for good. While it may be 5% of what we do, it's 95% of who we are. And whether that's 1% of what we do and 99% of who we are, the equation is somewhere balanced in that ratio. We only exist to do good. We only exist to empower people to improve lives through our products, our opportunity, our culture. No matter how much technological advancement and change this company will lead and go through, this core mission will stay the same. This will be the difference. We were having a leadership exchange around some of our other technology gig companies. the companies like Uber or Didi Driver in Asia, and they talk about driverless cars. How does that empower people to improve lives, right? Some companies utilize technology to replace human beings. We're utilizing technology to empower more people. There are 8 billion people on the planet. That's who we're going after. So that's where we're going. And at the end of it all, we will have an affiliate opportunity platform. No matter who you are, no matter what your aspirations are, you will be able to find a home at Nu Skin. That's EmpowerMe. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for dialing in. Thank you.